I work for a very large broadcaster who deals a lot with production companies and has its own rules about the ways in which AI can be used and so on and so forth. Everybody's feeling their way around this still
Yeah.
at the moment. Something that I came away with at a meeting I was at where we were talking over this recently, and I came away feeling like, oh, this is actually making me feel even better about it. And I don't know if this is something that you've thought of. It relates to copyright, but on the other side, we've been talking about the way that AI may take copyrighted work. But the broadcaster that I work with, it says we want to make sure, and this very much leads to your point about blended work between AI and humans and making sure that humans are part of the mix. Because they said one thing that is clear about the copyright is actually on the creation side and ownership, because there's already been a number of court cases now already where they've said it's pretty clear that it doesn't matter that the AI software, the back end, what have you, is made by people. It doesn't matter that a human being does the prompting. The thing that is created, we recognize it's been created by a machine. Machine isn't a human, ergo, it doesn't necessarily have the same copyright, protections. And so they're saying they want to make sure that human beings are really in the mix, and that it is still a human, particularly for creative work, it's a human-centered thing, so that with just assistance from AI, rather than I got AI to generate a story and then I got AI to generate a script and then I to generate a video, because your actual rights as a creator to the work that you have created starts to diminish a little bit there. So I don't know if any of the work that you do, how important it is to make sure that humans are still at the center of it, partly because you want to be able to say that the work that you've got is yours still at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really great question as well, Andy. It's a massive issue, and I think uh, I think you can always notice if someone is just pinging something into an AI and pinging it out again. And I think when it comes to sort of like ownership of your own work, the creative process is is still very much a human thing. And I'm sure you see this, and I've seen it when I've seen people pass me AI scripts and stuff. And I go, okay, right, it's rather light. It's not. It doesn't sound like your work. It doesn't feel like your work. It doesn't feel like anything original. And but I was funny. I was talking to a professor about this, and they were saying, but AI systems are obviously trained systems, and so they're very much backward facing. And what happens is that the nuance of the forward facing, which is what humans do, we sort of take what we know, but then we can conjure up totally different ways of doing it, and we do that all the time. That's how our brains work. Machines won't necessarily do exactly that. They'll take like a large language large language model is basically it's a predictive model, as in most AIs are. So it will take a word and it will try and predict what the next word will be, and it will try and predict what the next word will be, and it will do that every time. It will do it differently, right? So there is a element of randomness to it, but it's always based on what it's seen before. When you get real creativity with humans, yes, we are influenced by stuff, but there's a very nuanced difference, and I'm sure you've seen it, and I'm sure that's something you see in your broadcaster as well. I personally think that that's where the value is. So when we are looking at what an AI produces, yes, it can create efficiencies. Yes, it can create us faster and make it cheaper for us to do the same job. But the value is still in what the human is doing and humans getting the AI to do. And I think that will continue. There's someone was talking about it today, and I was trying to remember who it was. I'll try and put it in the email. But the idea that it's not a zero economy, and what they meant by it's not a zero economy is that a lot of people look at how the world is now, and there's 100% of work in the world now. And then you take AI and you whack it, and that takes 80% of that 100%. So that leaves humans with 20%. And everybody goes, oh, we can't have that. But it's not really the case. What it is that 80% is done by machines, and there's a new 80%. that comes out the other end of this that we haven't even thought of yet. And it's a really good question you're asking, because with regards to sort of like individuals' work, individuals' contribution, that is, it's like I say, I think that is going to be such a nuanced thing, and it's going to be such an important part of this process, in my opinion, and from what I've heard elsewhere, that actually there'll be things that, like, for instance, that there might be individuals who are consulting just on ideas for programs at one point. It might be that, I don't know, but the process itself will be less important. The outcome or the product that we're making will be the important bit, and that's where the value comes.